Hello there. Welcome to our Science 6 Quarter 3, Week 2. How are you doing? On our last lesson, we talked about the different organs of the body. Can you still recall what are those organs? Very good. We talked about the brain. What else? We talked about the heart. We talked about the kidneys. We even talked about your stomach. This week, we are going to continue talking about those organs. And I hope that we are going to learn how important these organs are. So, join me and let us look at the importance of the organs in our body. So before you is a car running. Now let me ask you, what do you think makes this car run? Any idea? Yes, the car is running because maybe it is filled with gasoline. It has fuel. That's why it keeps on running. What else? That is true. The car maybe have a driver. So the driver is the one controlling the car as it speeds along the way. But what do you think is the most important part in the car? Is it the wheels? Is it the lights? Is it the body? Is it the seats you can find inside? Yes, the most important thing, of course, in a car is your engine. Because everything goes through the engine. The gasoline goes through the engine. The engine will make the wheels turn so that it could move. It will be easy for the driver to hold the wheel because it is controlled by your engine. If the engine is destroyed, then every part of the car will not be usable. It is also just like our bodies. We have different parts, but these parts or these organs needs to work with one another in order for our body to function well. So this week, we are going to talk about the organ systems. So, who can tell me what is an organ system? Any idea of what is an organ system? So we will be talking about these organ systems, and let us try to see if we could have a good concept or idea about these organ systems. Now let us start with the first organ system, and that is your skeletal system. Okay, so what is a skeletal system? A skeletal system is the body system composed of bones and cartilage. So when we talk about the skeletal system, it is primarily composed of your bones and your cartilage. And the skeletal system performs the following critical functions for our human body. Number one, it supports the body. Your skeletal system helps you stand. It serves as a framework of the body. So whether you are big or you are small, that depends on the bones of your body. Next, your skeletal system also facilitates movement. Look at the skeleton at the side. It is moving because of the skeletal system. Imagine yourself without the bones. Do you think you can move? Do you think you can dance? Do you think you can jump? Your skeletal systems also protect the internal organs of the body. It serves as an It serves as a capsule on the body. It protects the brain, your lungs, your heart from being destroyed by external forces. That's why when you are playing and suddenly you hit your head, your brain is not damaged easily because it has a thick protective covering called your skull. Same as with your heart and your lungs. Your skeletal system also produces blood cells, meaning to say all the red blood cells are found or are being produced in the bones. And lastly, your skeletal system stores and releases minerals and fats. So that is why you are very much encouraged to eat the right kind of food, because your body produces the minerals. If we could not eat the right kind of food, our skeletal system could not produce the right minerals in order for us to grow and, of course, to function normally. So I have a question. We have blank bones in our body. Can anyone guess? Yes, we have 206 bones. Yay, you got it right. The bones in our body is 206. So if you're going to count your bones, it's 206 bones. The other system is what we call the muscular system. The muscular tissue of the body constitutes from 1/3 to 1/2 of the body mass at the average vertebrae, meaning to say your body is mostly made up of muscles. It is said that it's composed of 1/3 to 1/2 of the body mass. So if you are a gym buff, if you are the person who would like to go to the gym and you develop your muscles, the weight or your body mass is mostly your muscle. So you can see those persons, they are having great muscles and the weight is around 195. Those are pure muscles. So everybody or someone would really love to go to the gym and would like to somehow develop their muscles, because that is your supposedly comprises the body mass of the body. So what is the function of the muscular system? It serves for movement and locomotion through its direct connection with the skeletal system. So your muscles are attached to your skeletal system or to the bones, and this attachment causes you to have locomotion or movement. So try to observe, if you're going to flex your muscle or your upper arm, you will see that the muscles on your bicep are, what are they doing? Are they relaxing or are they contracting? Of course, when you flex it in, it contracts. But when you start to release it, it relaxes. So it is attached to your bone so that you can move your body and you can have movement also. Next, there are three generally recognized muscle tissue types. So there are three types of muscles. Number one is the smooth muscle. These smooth muscles are found in the lining of the walls of the blood vessels, the visceral organs, such as the digestive tract and the uterus, and are also found attached to hair in the integument. So the first type of muscle is what we call your smooth muscles. And usually these muscles are found on your blood vessels. They are found on the digestive tract. They are found on the uterus. And they are also found attached to hairs in the integument. So if you're going to look at your skin, if you are going to look at the hairs that are attached to your skin, it has little muscles. These are what we call the smooth muscle. The other type of muscle is, of course, the cardiac muscle. As its name implies, these are solely in the musculature of the heart wall. So the cardiac muscle is only found in the heart. This muscle aids your heart to contract and relax. And of course, we have the skeletal muscles. These are the muscles that are associated closely with the skeleton and are used in locomotion. So when we talk about skeletal muscles, these are the muscles that are usually associated with your skeleton or the skeletal system. And these muscles are being used for locomotion. Say, for example, the muscles on your legs. These muscles helps you walk. It contracts and it relaxes. It makes you run. It makes you jump. The muscles on your arms makes you reach something, or it makes you contract the muscles of your hands. So these are the skeletal muscles. So again, we have the three muscles. We have the smooth muscles, which is found on the internal organs, the visceral organs, the cardiac muscles that are found on your heart, and of course the skeletal muscles, which are closely associated with your skeleton. Now, again, I have the question. I have a question here. What do you think is the biggest muscle on the body? Can anyone tell me what is the biggest muscle on the body? The biggest muscle on the body is your gluteus maximus, or your butt muscle. That is the biggest muscle, the muscle that is found on your gluteal area or on your butt. So every time a medicine is injected, which is hard to be injected on the smaller muscles, the first choice is your butt when you're a baby, because you still have small muscles on your arms. Most of the medicines, if you are frequently visiting the hospital, is injected on your gluteus maximus or your butt muscle. The other system that we have is the nervous system. Who can tell me what is the nervous system? Of course, it's not the system that makes you nervous. No, it's not that one. It does not create panic. So a nervous system includes the brain, the nervous tissue contained within the cranium, and the spinal cord, the extension of nervous tissue within the vertebral column. Additionally, the nervous tissue that reach out from the brain and the spinal cord to the rest of the body, or the nerves, are also part of the nervous system. So when we talk about the nervous system includes your brain and the spinal cord. These are the organs of the body that controls everything else. If your brain is dead, your heart will not function, because the brain could not send a signal to your heart to work, or a signal to your skeletal system to work, or a signal to your muscular system to work. So the brain is very important. It is the nervous system. It is the control organ of the body. Everything passes through the brain for interpretation. When you see something, when you smell something, when you touch something, when you feel something, all the five senses that we have, all the impulses, all the stimulus will be interpreted by your nervous system. And these are the brain and the spinal cord. Your nervous system can be divided into two major systems: the central nervous system, or the CNS, which is the brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, or the nerves outside your spinal cords and your brain. So when we talk about the central nervous system, we talk about the center of the body. So what is the center of the body? If you're going to look at it on the picture, we have the brain and the spinal cord. Now, when we talk about the peripheral nervous system, These are the systems of the body that is away from the spinal cord and the brain. So these are the nerves that goes into your hand, the periphery, the side nerves that goes into your hand, into your legs. Now, these are what we call the peripheral nervous system. So the nervous system again is divided into two: the central nervous system, or the CNS, and the peripheral nervous system. So what are the functions of your nervous system? Okay, number one, the nervous system is responsible for your response. You know, when you are being touched, you respond. When you are being shouted, you respond. When someone gives you flower, you respond. When you are angry, you respond. That is all the responsibility of the nervous system. When you are afraid, the nervous system will give you the signal to respond properly. So, how would you respond if someone gets mad at you? Do you laugh? Do you run? Do you cry? Those are the work of your nervous system. So its first function actually is for you to respond. So that is why if you are touching a hot object, you would put your hand out, because that is a response coming from the nervous system. Your brain is telling your hands, your peripheral nerves, that what you're touching is hot, so you need to remove it or else you'll get burned. The other one, of course, is your integration. Integration means you understand. So when you see that a flower is red, you know that red is associated with love. When you see a color that is black, you associate black color as death. So whenever your perception would try to look at things, it would be integrated to your body. It will give an idea to your body. So if you see a dog that is rabid, that is barking, what will you do? Will you run towards the dog, or will you run away from the dog? So that is your nervous system. Now, here's a question. The brain is the main organ of the nervous system. True or false? Okay, let us see. The answer is, of course, it's true. The brain is the main organ of the nervous system. The nerves and the spinal cords are just a part of it, but what controls everything is your brain. Okay, now let's go to the next system of the body, and this is your digestive system. Last time we talked about your stomach and how the food are being digested. So it is being digested in the small intestines, and of course, it is being excreted on the large intestines. Those that could not be absorbed by the intestines, small intestines, they go directly into the large intestines, and they are released as a waste product, in which we call feces. So we are going to look at the whole of the digestive system this morning. Okay. So the digestive system is made up of the gastrointestinal tract, or what we call the GI tract. It is also called the digestive tract. It is composed of the liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder. The GI tract is a series of hollow organs joined in a long, twisting tube from the mouth to the anus. The hollow organs that make up the GI tract are the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, which includes the rectum and the anus. Food enters the mouth and passes to the anus through the hollow organs of the GI tract. The liver, pancreas, and the gallbladder are solid organs of the digestive system. The digestive system helps the body digest food. So when we talk about the digestive system, or it is also called your gastrointestinal tract, or the digestive tract, these are the tubes or the organs of the body that is responsible for digesting the food that we eat. So we have just read that there are hollow organs. When you say hollow organs are organs that doesn't have anything inside. An example of this are your GI tract, which starts from your mouth. It goes into your esophagus, into your stomach, small intestine, large intestines, and of course your rectum and your anus. As you can see on the picture, when you start to eat the food, it goes into a process starting from the mouth, esophagus, stomach. Then it will go into the small intestines, large intestines, and it will go out as a waste product or a feces. So you may ask, what are the important points that we need to understand on the digestive system? First point, digestion is important for breaking down food into nutrients, which the body uses for energy, growth, and cell repair. So let us always remember that digestion is very important. When you say it's very important, it is the source of energy and cell repair of our body. So we need to eat good foods. We need to eat proper diet so that we have ample energy for cell repair. We have the right nutrients. Of course, it is not bad to eat French fries, but do not eat French fries every day. You can eat maybe twice a month or twice a week, but it should not be a part of your staple food. It should not be a part of your diet. Next, digestion works by moving food through the gastrointestinal tract. As I've said, digestion happens when the food starts to move. See, when you place it in your mouth and you're not swallowing it, it's not digestion. It will just be the breakdown of your food. But when you swallow the food, it goes into your GI tract and some of the nutrients are being absorbed and is being utilized by your body as energy. This is also the other thing that we should remember. Digestion begins in the mouth with chewing and ends in the small intestine. So when you will be asked, where does digestion begins? It begins in your mouth. The first time you place the food into your mouth and you start to chew it, digestion is already starting. And it ends up on your small intestine, in which smaller nutrients are being digested. So if you want to go back to the stomach, there you will find again those small villi that absorbs the nutrients. Of course, those that will not be digested will be placed into the large intestines for excretion. As food passes through the GI tract, it mixes with digestive juices, causing large molecules of food to break down into smaller molecules. The body then absorbs these smaller molecules through the walls of the small intestine into the bloodstream, which delivers them to the rest of the body. So as you start to eat the food, again, you look at the picture on the other side, it will go through the different digestive tract, and there are what we call digestive juices, which makes this food being broken down into smaller pieces. Example of the digestive juices is your hydrochloric acid. So observe, have you ever tried not eating? Now what happens when you did not eat? What did you feel? Of course, your stomach is hurting. You got a stomach upset. Do you know the reason why? It's because that when you eat, when you swallow, your brain is telling your stomach you have something to digest. But on that point, you did not eat. So when you swallow your saliva, your brain thinks you are swallowing something. So the brain is directing the stomach to release hydrochloric acid. But eventually, there is no food to be digested. So what is happening is that your stomach is being eaten by these digestive juices. And if you continue to do that one, then you will develop what we call ulcer later on. So it's very important that you eat properly. Do not skip your meals because that is not good, or else your stomach will get a hole because your digestive juices have eaten the lining of your stomach. So that is your digestive system. The other important points also is that waste products of the digestion pass through the large intestine, and out of the body is a solid matter called your stool or feces. And digestive juices contain enzymes that break down food into different nutrients. That's why I'm telling you, it will break down food into smaller nutrients so that your small intestines could absorb this, what we call nutrients for our body's energy. And of course, the small intestines absorb most digested food molecules as well as water and minerals and passes them on to other parts of the body for storage or further chemical change. Hormones and nerve regulators control the digestive process. So when the food goes into the small intestines because they have been broken down into smaller pieces, the role of your small intestines is to distribute this food or nutrients to the rest of the body parts. It's either it will be stored so that later on we can use it for energy, or maybe it can be converted into other forms of energy through a chemical change. Now, hormones and nerve regulators control the digestive process. That is why, if you notice, you have how many hours again for you to feel hungry. You feel hungry at a certain moment. You don't feel hungry every second unless you have a problem on your digestive system. But if you are healthy, you have the time when to eat lunch, when to eat breakfast, when to get your snack, when to eat dinner. So those are the things. Those are being controlled by the nerve regulators. And of course, in that way, controls also the digestive process. So let us remember all those important points on our digestive system. The next system is what we call the urinary system. So we talked about the kidney last time. We talked about that the waste product of the kidney is the urine. So the urinary system, also known as the renal system. So the other name for the urinary system is the renal system. It produces, stores, and eliminates urine, the fluid waste excreted by the kidneys. The kidneys make urine by filtering waste and extra water from blood. Urine travels from the kidney through two thin tubes called the ureters and fills the bladder. When the bladder is full, a person urinates through the urethra to eliminate the waste. So the urinary system or the renal system, the function of this one is it eliminates urine. Now, and of course, it cleans the blood from other waste products. So look at the picture. We have the kidney that usually filters the things that are needed by the body, and it's being thrown into the ureter. So the kidney converts it to urine, and it passes through the ureter, the small tubes that we can see. And of course, the larger one below is what we call the bladder. When the bladder is full, now you have the urge to urinate. So hindi mo pagpugungan if you are having an urge to urinate. Do not be lazy to go to the bathroom and then you know relieve yourself, because if that happens, those that are found on your bladder are what we call materials or waste products. If you are going to keep waste in your body, what do you think will happen? Of course, you will get sick. So if you feel the urge to urinate, go to the bathroom and then urinate. Do not hold it and say, I'll just urinate maybe later in the afternoon, because if that happens, it will destroy your kidney, because all the bacteria will go back to the kidney and it will destroy. And when the kidney is destroyed, there is no filtering system in the body. So you need to take good care of your kidney. Of course, the primary organ of the urinary system are the kidneys, there on the picture, which are bean-shaped organs that are located just below the rib cage in the middle of the back. The kidneys remove urea, a waste product formed by the breakdown of proteins from the blood through small filtering units called nephrons. So in the picture, you can see those two bean-shaped organs of the body. These are the kidneys, and these are located below your ribs. Now, these kidneys remove urea through a filtering process, which is aided by the filtering units, which is the nephron. So when we speak of the basic unit of the urinary system or the kidney, it is the nephron. So your urinary system is the filtering system of the body. So take good care of it, because if you could not filter the waste, then you will get sick. So let us take good care of the kidney. The other one is what we call the reproductive system. Okay. In the picture, that is the best picture that I could show you. A reproduction, to say you create another organism. It could be the same, it could be different. There is a boy, there is a girl. So you create human beings. If you are a human being, you create animal. If you're an animal, you create plants. If you are a plant. So that is reproductive system. In our TLE, we talked about reproduction. So this is also the same with the system of the body. So the major functions of the reproductive system is to ensure survival of the species. You know, the reason why people reproduce, animals reproduce, plants reproduce, is for that the species will live longer. As the adage says or goes, you are the better version of your parents. So when we speak about it, you are now more adaptable compared to your parents. Later on, when you become parents, your children will also be more adaptable than you are. You will create a better product that could ensure survival. So just like you right now, you are enjoying technology, but when you grow up, there will be another technology, and you need to have a what we call that species that could adapt to that kind of situation. So that is the major function of the reproductive system, to ensure survival of the species. There are 4 functions of the reproductive system. Number 1, to produce egg and sperm cell. Regardless if you're an animal, a plant, or a person, in order for reproduction to continue, there should be production of egg and sperm cell. Otherwise, it is only applicable to plants when we talk about asexual propagation, but on all the species that needs to reproduce, there should be an egg and a sperm. An egg could not be viable enough to produce a species. It needs a counterpart. It needs a partner, and that is the sperm. So eggs are produced by women, sperm are produced by males. So in short, ang mga tinatanong, sino ang maitlog, babae o lalaki? Kayo ang sumagot. Next, another function of reproductive system is to transport and sustain these cells. So once the egg and the sperm cell meet together, of course, it needs to be sustained. And this is the function of the reproductive system. The female carries the fertilized egg, and it stays there. It will grow and later on it will become another human being. And then to nurture the developing offspring. So mostly these are the work of the female reproductive system. When the egg is developed already, it's in the womb, they are tasked to nurture the developing offspring. That is why your mom, when she was pregnant, you ask her, when she's asking for something, your dad would look for it, even though it's difficult, because he wanted your mother to nurture you because he loves you. Because if not, you will be thrown on the garbage. But because you are here, that means that you are loved because you had been nurtured carefully. And of course, the reproductive system produces hormones. That's what makes you different from girls. If you are a boy, you have a different hormone. If you are a girl, you have a different hormone. We talked about it when we are still on grade 5 about the reproductive system. So you understand already what are the hormones being secreted by males and what are the hormones that are being secreted by females that aid in the reproduction. Okay, so the male reproductive system is mostly located outside of the body. So this is now the male reproductive system on the picture. These are the external organs that includes the penis, the scrotum, and the testicles. Internal organs include the vas deferens, prostate, and urethra. The male reproductive system is responsible for sexual function as well as urination. So I need not to discuss the parts of the male reproductive system because you've already undergone that when you were still in grade 5. But as for the sake of others, the male reproductive system is used for, of course, sexual function to deposit the sperm to the reproductive organ of the female. And of course, it is also used for urination. So you need to take care of your reproductive system because if we damage the reproductive system, we could not anymore replace it. So this is the male reproductive system. It is mostly external, outside. You can see everything outside. The inner ones are just the tubings that you have. So most of the male reproductive system is found outside. The other one, okay, these organs do the following jobs within your body. Okay, they produce, maintain, transport sperm, the male reproductive cells, and semen, the protective fluid around the sperm. So this is what the organs are doing. They produce sperm and they produce semen. Sperm, of course, is the male reproductive cell, and semen is the fluid that protects the air, the place in which the sperm are flowing, the urethra. It neutralizes the acid because if not, the sperm will die because of the acidity coming from the urine. They discharge sperm into the female reproductive tract. So of course, you use your external reproductive system. Your penis too, of course, discharge sperm into the female reproductive tract. And of course, your male reproductive system produces and secretes male sex hormones. So testosterone. So that makes your voice deeper. That makes you more manly. The male sex hormone, the testosterone, that separates you from the female. Okay. So the other one is the female reproductive system. So the female reproductive system is one of the most vital parts of human reproductive process. Although a man is needed to reproduce, it is the woman who incubates the developing fetus and delivers the child into the world. So when we talk about the reproductive system, and we'll focus on the female reproductive system, it is said that this is the most vital part of the human reproductive process. The females are very important because although we males delivers the sperm, but it is the female who carries the child, who nurtures the fertilized egg until it developed into a fetus and until it will be delivered. Meaning to say, the work of the female reproductive organ starts from the time of conception up to the time of delivery. The work of the male reproductive system has ended rather when the sperm was delivered into the female reproductive system. So the major organs of the female reproductive system includes, of course, the vagina. It is a muscular tube that receives the penis during intercourse and is where the baby lives through the uterus during childbirth. The uterus, it is an organ that holds and nourishes a developing fetus if an egg was properly fertilized. The ovaries are the female gonads. The ovaries produce ova. When one matures, it is released down into the fallopian tube. The counterpart of the ovaries in male is very good, the testes. Okay, fallopian tubes. These are small tubes transport ova from the ovaries to the uterus. This is where an eggs wait to be fertilized. So eventually, this is how your female reproductive looks like. Again, I will not discuss this anymore because we have gone it through during your grade 5. So these are just the major points that you need to remember so that you will not forget if someone asks you what are the parts of the male and the female reproductive system. And these are also their functions. Okay, the other one is the sensory system. When we talk about the sensory system, we talk about the senses of the body. A sensory system consists of a sensory receptors, neural pathways, and parts of the brain involved in the perception. When we talk about the sensory system, we talk about the neural pathways and the receptors, the ones that receive and where it goes after a certain sense has received the stimulus. Say, for example, when you smell something, where does it go? It goes to your nerves and it goes to your brain for interpretation, whether the smell is good or not. But it takes only seconds or a fraction of a second for you to react and say, ah, that's bad. When you taste something, when you hear something, when you see something, when you touch something, it goes into your brain because this is the sensory system. So everything that we perceive around us goes to the brain for interpretation. And then we can say whether it is good or bad. Commonly recognized sensory system are those for vision, hearing, somatic sensation or your touch, taste or olfaction or the smell. So these are the commonly recognized sensory systems of the body. But researchers also said that there are other sensory system in the body aside from what has been mentioned. So I want you to look at it on the internet. How many senses do we really have? Do we have 5, 7, 8, 12, 100? I don't know. You try to look at it on the internet and we will discuss that one when we return. The circulatory system. Okay. So the circulatory system is a system that transports nutrients, respiratory gases, and metabolic products throughout a living organism, permitting integration among the various tissue. The process of circulation includes the intake of metabolic materials, the conveyance of these materials throughout the organism, and the return of harmful byproducts to the environment. So when we talk about the circulatory system, it is the system of the body that delivers the nutrients, respiratory gases, and other metabolic products that we have in our body. So when we start to inhale oxygen, these are being carried out by the circulatory system. The oxygen is being brought to the lungs, and of course, it is being given to the body when we eat. When the small intestine starts to absorb the nutrients, it will be again given to the circulatory system. So I mean to say, the circulatory system is the transport system of nutrients, respiratory gases, metabolic process that is given to the body, as well as they are also what we call the transport system of bringing out, see, of taking away harmful uh, nutrients or harmful things in our body. So we breathe out carbon dioxide, we excrete feces, we sweat, we urinate. Those are being taken from the circulatory system. So it is what we call a very important system because they transport everything from waste to nutrients. The lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a subsystem of the circulatory system in vertebrates body that consists of a complex of network of vessels, tissues, and organs. The lymphatic system helps maintain fluid balance in the body by collecting excess fluid and particulate matter from tissues and depositing them into bloodstream. It also helps defend the body against infection by supplying disease-fighting cells called lymphocytes. This article, no, this one focuses on the human lymphatic system. So when we talk about the lymphatic system, in simple terms, they are the protective system of the body. They protect you from any infection. When you get cut, your lymphatic system work. It will send out cells to combat the bacteria so that you will not get sick. These are the work of the lymphatic system. They are the soldiers of your body, and the blood cell that is working on this lymphatic system is what we call your white blood cells. So these are the disease fighting cells, or they are called lymphocytes or white blood cells. And of course, you have the endocrine system. The endocrine system is a network of glands in your body that makes the hormone that helps you talk to each other. They're responsible for almost every cell, organ, and function of your body. When we talk about the endocrine system, these are glands that helps each organ communicate with each other. What does the other organ need? So say for example, the brain would look at you, you're already 12 years old, yet you are too short. So the brain will send some impulses to your hypothalamus, going to the pituitary gland, and it will tell your pituitary gland, you secrete a growth hormone so that this boy or this girl will grow. So it will grow, you will grow taller. Or when you reach puberty, of course, your sex hormones will be released. These are being still dictated by your brain, but they are coursed through the endocrine system. These are the network of glands that makes you grow or talk to each other so that the organs will grow and it will function properly. If your endocrine system will not grow, some people are very short because their pituitary gland did not secrete any growth hormones, or their body or their pancreas or their insulin pancreas did not release any kind of insulin. That's why they became diabetic. Or they have big like they have big things on their neck. Those are enlarged thyroid gland because their thyroid gland did not produce proper hormones. So endocrine system would control everything in our body. Of course, still they are being directed by the brain, but this will deliver what the certain organ needs in order for it to function normally. So the endocrine system functions as It makes hormones that control your moods, growth and development, metabolism, organs, and reproduction. So your endocrine system would release hormones that would control your moods. When you're happy, you're sad. Your growth and development, you're tall, you're smooth. Your metabolism, are you fat or are you thin? And of course, the reproduction. These are all the works of your endocrine system. Of course, the endocrine system also controls how these hormones are released, because if the endocrine system will just release the hormones in large amount, you will have abnormalities. So the endocrine system controls how much hormones do you need in order for you to grow normally. And of course, your endocrine system sends those hormones into your bloodstream so that they can travel to other parts of the body. So again, consider this and try to look at this. Endocrine system works together with the circulatory system. Once the hormone is being released, it will be uh, put into the bloodstream so that the blood can carry it to where it should go. So they are working with each other. Now, those are the different organs of the body. We need to understand that these organs need to work together in order for you to become healthy. If one organ is not being taken care of, then the rest will suffer. You could not say that I would not love my heart or my circulatory system because I still have the nervous system. Anyway, the brain is in control of everything. I have my digestive system. We need to take good care of our systems, because if we fail to do this, then if one organ system will shut down, everything will be, of course, uh, will be what you call it, they will be altogether be a problem. They will move with one another. So we need to take good care of it, because we don't want that other system will suffer because we forgot to take good care of one of the system. So in line with this is what we're going to do. You will create a poster or a slogan that you will present to your community regarding the importance of proper ways to take care of our body. So you need to make a slogan or a poster, and then you can submit your poster or slogan to your Schoology output folder. I will be giving the exact date, but you can do your slogan or poster in two ways. You can do it digitally if you really know how to draw and how to write using the different offices of Microsoft, then you can do that one. But if you could not do that, then you can at least get a bond paper or a board, and then try to put your slogan, take a picture, and submit it to your output folder so that I could check it. So that will be our output for this lesson. Hopefully, you were able to learn something out of it. The importance of the organ systems, that systems needs to work with each other, just like you need to cooperate, because if one member of the family would not cooperate, then the whole family would be affected. So with that, thank you very much for listening. You can download this video and you can study again if you missed something. I hope that you will enjoy your week. This is Sir Francis saying goodbye and have a wonderful day.